What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Stay Hot. I'm Blaiden Kirk, joined as always by my two favorite co-hosts of all time in Matthew Sponauer and Theo Ash. We have a great episode planned for you all today. We're going to, of course, recap games 1 and 2 of the NBA Finals. We stayed up late just to record this episode for you guys. Then we're going to do a bit of an NFL keep trade cut game. And then we're going to end things off with a new segment that we're doing of Question of the Day. We're going to do it every Monday release. I'm going to give you a question of the day from you guys. So if you want to be involved in question of the day, make sure you shoot us an email at stayhotpodcast@gmail.com, or you could DM us on Twitter or Instagram. But before we get into those things, Matthew, how are you guys doing today?
Well, the biggest news of the day I'm still reeling from, and that's that Felipe Franks is a wide receiver now. But you know, this is exactly why we liked Felipe Franks, is because we knew that even if he did fail as a quarterback, we knew that he had the athleticism to be the next great wide receiver.
So I believe we had that in his scouting report.
I believe we did too. We were like, in fact, I believe Matt said when the Falcons draft him, he'll be better than Kyle Pitts. I think that's the take that we had.
I believe I don't know what episode that was I said that, but I'm pretty sure I said something along those lines.
I mean, at this point, the Falcons have to have the best receiving core in the NFL with, you know, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and
the Ritter to Franks connection is going to have me going nuts. I just need one regular season completion out of that, and I'm set.
They definitely have the tallest receiving core in football. I don't have numbers in front of me, but Brian Edwards, Pitts, London, Franks is 6'7". So
Jesus Christ,
he is really that tall. I mean, that's why we thought he was so good, is because he can see everything and has a cannon arm and he's fast, and you know, he can't really read things all that great, and his accuracy is questionable, but the dude is just a freak of nature. And you know, if you can't
be the tallest receiver ever, right?
6'7".
That's that Carmichael guy who played for the Eagles. No,
who?
I forget his name, but 6'7" is certainly not the tallest receiver ever.
Yeah, Daniel, I'm gonna need a number on that tallest receiver ever height. But
wait, what name did you just say? Daniel Alameda?
No, he said Carmichael.
Carmichael.
Okay.
I was telling Daniel,
totally
like our producer, to get us a number.
My bad. I just know someone named Daniel Alameda, and I thought I just heard that name. My bad.
But make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for more great content, like us talking about Felipe Franks. Do you want to talk about some basketball?
Let's do it.
I fear that the 0 Finals MVPs for Steph Curry stint might be coming to a close.
We had a good run.
It was a good run. It was a really good run. We had a blast. We had a good time. But it's probably his year. There's only so long this was going to go on. He's been playing absolutely ridiculous, shooting the lights out. Warriors won tonight, and the Celtics looked really rough. Like, I don't want to end going, you know, it's 1-1 right now, right? So if you're the Celtics and I had told you you're going to be 1-1 going to Boston, that would have been great. That would have been awesome. Like, it's the best case scenario. But it is also easy to see like the reverse, where if you're the Warriors, you're telling yourself they got hot last fourth quarter, fluky. We came out, crushed them this game. We're going to be fine. We feel good about ourselves. And I am a little worried about the Celtics.
I am too, but I do think as far as the Celtics go, I think you got to look at it like this, is like, you know, they exploded in the third quarter, but when you look at this box score, I think you can be like, this game may have been closer than we thought, or than the final score looked, because they ended 15 of 37 from three. Both teams exactly 15 for 37. They had 43 versus 42 rebounds. The Celtics had the edge. 24 versus 25 assists. Fouls, it was 18-17. It was like neck and neck in a lot of these stats, and where you kind of see the discrepancy is steals for the Warriors versus the Celtics. It was 15-5. So the Celtics just kept turning the ball over, especially in the first quarter. I believe they had 7. I think like if you're the Celtics, it's like you can say the same thing. Like, oh, the Warriors. I mean, I guess the Warriors can keep shooting like this because they're the Warriors. But I think you can look at it like this. Poole was rattled for a good portion of the first half, right? Poole got blocked like 3 or 4 different times by 3 or 4 different Celtics. Looked a little bit hesitant in that first half. Wasn't playing well in game 1 either. Clay hasn't quite been himself. Draymond is not an offensive weapon. Wiggins is, kind of a role player. I think that there's still a world where Curry has little help offensively, and the Celtics can still force that to be the case every once in a while for a couple more games. They just need, like, Curry's going to do what he's going to do. But I do think the Celtics can look at some of the stuff from tonight and say, yeah, they just were scorched earth in the third quarter, and that's going to keep happening because it's the Warriors, and the Warriors are deadly. But I think that there is a world where, it's Curry without a lot of other offensive help. I think the Celtics defense is good enough to force this for a couple more games, and stem the bleeding a little bit more than it was tonight. And they just got to take care of the basketball a little bit more. Again, you saw all the steals the Warriors had, and the Warriors go real slow once they get the ball, as evidenced by the points off of turnovers, because the Warriors would really slow it down after getting that, get the best shot possible, and the Celtics would just kind of rush down the floor, and despite that, the points in the paint was totally towards the Warriors. So I don't know. I don't think this one's over, but yeah, Matt, I would probably put my money on the Warriors. But I don't think it's completely done. I think there's a world where Poole and the rest of the supporting cast don't look as good as they were in the second half for an entire game or so, and so the Warriors have a couple more games under 110 points maybe. So
Celtics just have to be more comfortable offensively. I mean, too many times it's either and they have the dumbest turnovers.
They do.
Some of this, it's brutal to watch. You think the Celtics are getting something going, and then all of a sudden they're just running down the court as fast as possible and throwing the ball into, a Warriors player or whoever. But then a lot of the other times it's like they get too stagnant. It's like then they get in their half court stuff. I remember there was one, Tatum just went 1-on-1 with Wiggins, and it was like, really, it was kind of early in the shot clock, and it's like, dude, and he's taking he took like a really tough shot. It's like, you gotta, the comfortability of like moving the ball well and all that stuff does not come to them naturally. We've said it every single game. And some games they get it together, and some games it's obvious, that this is still a team that at one point had a losing record this year, right?
Right.
So,
and you need a guy with a superpower, I think, is sometimes what it comes down to. Giannis has a superpower, Curry has a superpower, LeBron has a superpower. The Celtics kind of don't have. Tatum is great. Don't get me wrong. I love Jason Tatum, but he doesn't have a superpower, right? Like, he doesn't quite have a once in a lifetime type of game that so many NBA champions and so many NBA dynasties do. Know. I think that's what it comes like.
Tatum's superpower definitely has to be that he's only 19.
He's only 19. He could definitely develop that, but he is a little young. But I that's the other thing that kind of comes down to is like, man, when Curry's draining some of these shots, it's like that guy legitimately has something that no one's ever, like, that is once in a lifetime, right? And it's just kind of, in chess, it's like having an extra queen on the floor or something like that. It gives you something that no one else can touch, no matter how good they scheme it, no matter how good they game plan, no matter how much weight they lift in the weight room. Or maybe sometimes that superpower is you can lift a bunch of weight in the weight room. But I do think, and as time goes on, and Draymond was being especially annoying tonight, flopping around, laying on top of people.
But I think that's kind of by design, isn't it?
It is by design, and I think
that's kind of the Draymond game. Is like,
no.
It's like,
it's
even if he draws a tech, it's like, okay, who cares? We're in their head now.
Right, exactly. And I feel like the longer the series goes on, the more it benefits the smarter team, the more it benefits the more crafty team, and that's where it concerns me. It's like the Celtics needed to kind of, I think, get a lead quickly. I think they kind of needed, like the Suns going up 2-0 last year before Giannis took over. And even 2-0 wasn't enough. Like, I kind of feel like the Celtics need to really get a lead, because I think as it goes on,
they need to get a lead because
it
they
benefits
collapse in the third quarter, or really the Warriors.
Yeah, I was about to say it's
pull
just the
ahead in the
Warriors
third quarter.
God tier.
And that's what they have to really avoid, in my opinion, is that they can stay in the game. And it's like, yeah, it worked out game one, but it's like you can't lose by 15 points in the third. You can't come out and just put yourself out of the game going into the fourth or whatever. And it's difficult because after the first quarter, it's like, okay, well, we need to control the turnovers. We had 7 this first half or this first quarter. And then did they do that for the rest of the game? No, not really. Not at all. They just don't look like perfectly comfortable with themselves offensively. It either looks like they're trying just a little bit too hard to force what they want. It's like, okay, well, we're going to get out here quick, or we're ISOing here. Or it's like, and not necessarily, letting it come to them, I guess.
I like the Celtics. I do. I still feel like they're able to bounce back, right? I feel like that's kind of been their whole style all season long. They started out with a losing record, they bounced back, and obviously they're in the NBA Finals now. They've had multiple series where they've looked like, oh, maybe they won't survive this time. They end up surviving. So I'm gonna keep rolling with that mantra with the Celtics, is that they can keep doing that. But damn, you cannot have a third quarter like that.
Shout out. Oh, also, I want to shout out Gary Payton II, who returned from injury tonight right after breaking his elbow. Played 25 minutes. Didn't offer all that much offensively. I remember him bricking the free throws, which was bad, but he did his thing defensively. Celtics only scored 88 points. He was plus, I think, 15 in the box score. Not that is the greatest stat in the world, but still, came out, wasn't any kind of liability, that's for sure. 3 for 3 from the field, and that's just more reinforcements for Golden State and that defensive pest, whether that be off the bench or damn near playing starting minutes tonight, 25 minutes. But just another tool in the toolbox for them going forward as well. And he's probably going to get nothing but healthier. So that's another thing that I feel like another story from this game. But yeah, Klay Thompson 1 for 8 from 3, 4 for 19 overall. That's going to be the key for the Celtics, I think, is just stem the bleeding from the role players. Keep it so it's Curry by himself, because Curry is going to do his thing, but there's going to be some off nights for Curry probably. So as long as you can do what you did to Poole in the first half, consistently, and it's like, okay, is Klay Thompson going to beat us? Kevon Looney played great, 6 for 6 tonight. Wiggins was 4 for 12, though. It's like, just make it like Curry is going to do Curry things. It's just like the rest of the Warriors role play. The rest of the Warriors, what can you do against them? Like, how bad can you make them look? Because they've looked bad for stretches. That's for sure.
Can I point out an interesting, it's not really a stat. You go to NBA.com, you can look at the lead tracker for each of these games. Game 1, the Warriors have the lead for like 80% of this game. And they end up losing by, what was it? 12, something like that. And then this time, the Celtics have the lead for pretty much the entire first half. And they end up losing by 1 million. I just, why can't these games make sense, man?
It's a game of runs.
You mentioned, it's just right. It's just like whichever team starts off slower is going to win. That's the bet. I mean, Theo, you brought up
you can win a lot of money gambling if that's the truth.
I guess so, man.
Matt, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying Poole's really hot and cold. He was on
because he was in the third quarter.
He's playing for a lot of money right now too. That's what I always think about with these guys, man. And now the Warriors' whole offseason stuff with what they're gonna do with Wiggins and Poole, and are they just gonna pay everybody and just be the most expensive NBA roster of all time by a lot, or are they gonna have to choose one? And for a while there, it looked like, okay, well, Poole is the guy you choose because he projects to get better. But it's like right now, it's really hard to argue that, Wiggins isn't more important to Poole, but then he all of a sudden, hits a half-court shot. So never mind if they have. So.
I think that I wonder if money is more important than a ring for so many of these guys. Like, would Poole rather play good, increase his pay by $50 million and lose the series, or would Poole rather play bad, get benched, the guy get a minutes restriction, have the guy come in, replace him, play well, they win the series, but he gets like, 40, 50 million less dollars. I would rather
I don't know, dude. I might go with the money.
I think I'd rather have the money too.
No, dude, it's so funny how people talk about NBA players like, it's like Bradley. It'll be like Bradley Beal's thinking about signing a $250 million extension.
They'll be like,
he's wasting his career on the Wizards. What are you doing, man? It's like, I don't know, man.
He's $150 million.
Right. So
$150 million.
I do think that has to be going through his head, though.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Jesus Christ, of course. And it's something, again, we talk about this all the time. The interpersonal relationships after Ryan Fitzpatrick retired, Devontae Freeman or something no, it wasn't him. I can't remember. It was some old running back. And he was like, after every game or before every game, Fitzpatrick would come up and ask me what my catch incentive was at. And he would get me to that catch incentive so I would get a bonus. Those incentives, players care. Impending free agency, there's a reason saying it's a contract year for someone matters. All right. This is a contract series for Jordan Poole. So yeah, that shit is probably weighing pretty I mean, he's a candidate for max contract, right? I mean, you would consider giving him that.
He's an interesting one. So he has one more year on his deal, but he'd be eligible for an extension. So how that all gets handled and whether or not you would choose to accept an extension or not is a tough call, and it's going to be made really interesting by how he plays.
Because if you don't get that extension now you're playing all next year, with that weight tied to you,
There's no good option there, man. You either take the money and then you're going to be mad at yourself if you all of a sudden start playing way better. And if you're Jordan Poole, there's no reason to believe that you aren't going to continue to get way better.
Right.
But then if you don't take it, then it's like, well, you're going to be nervous the entire next of the year until you do get that money. So it's like there's the Dennis Schroeders of the world who held out for more money and it was a huge mistake. And if this is your first payday, it's really hard to say no, even if it's a little bit under what you want. So he's just got to hit his shots. He's got to do his thing. He's got to create a little bit more. I don't think he's a max player right now. And I feel like I'm pretty lenient on who I call max players, but I think he could get there by the end of next year.
Yeah. All I know, it was the same thing with, we were talking about Baker Mayfield and why he was so upset, with the Deshaun Watson thing. At the end of the day, he's missing out on $400 million. Right.
He's getting paid $19 million. I don't feel
that's $19 million right now. But if he's getting Dak Prescott money.
It's a little bit different though, because with Poole, he was a second round pick. Or he wasn't. He was late first. So this is
I guess
he doesn't have set for life. $19 million is set for life.
That is true. That's set for life money.
You give me $19 million. This is the last podcast episode.
Facts.
But,
you give me that Pat McAfee deal right now. You'll never hear. You'll never hear from us again.
But with Poole, I mean, it's and it would be a pretty bad turn of events. But I don't know. He will. It's not. There's only so much you can discuss before you see how he plays for the rest of the season. But I just think the Warriors' strategy is going to be really interesting.
So yeah, Poole's definitely up to get some big money pretty soon. But you know how you can get some big money? With our good friends over at PrizePicks, because they make daily fantasy so easy because they offer more NBA props than any other DFS operator. They offer every player and stat category you can think of. You pick 2 to 5 players and an over-under on the projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry, and it's just you versus the projected numbers.
I'm sorry.
Nah, dog. This is like, the disrespect is unreal. I'm trying to put in a good word for our friends at PrizePicks, and I'm like, this is insane.
Sorry.
PrizePicks allows for mixed sport entry. So, for example, you could take the over on Kevin Garnett and combine it with the under on Derek Jeter. And users that deposit and use our promo code will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. Just be sure to use the promo code Stay Hot. So don't hesitate. Check out PrizePicks.com and use the promo code Stay Hot, or go to the App Store and download the PrizePicks mobile app today, because that's where they make daily fantasy easy. Can I ask?
I'm proud of you. I didn't even tell you the name Derek Jeter. You just knew that one.
No, you missed. I saw a TikTok today, and someone was like, "Look at this big brain move by Derek Jeter." And then I was like, "Ooh, I'm going to say Derek Jeter today on the podcast."
But you see how easy it is to just see like a baseball name every so often, like pop up on your TikTok or Twitter?
How did you see that?
That's because now that's because now I'm thinking about it. That's because now I don't know who he played for.
Now you're thinking about it.
So you're lying. You know who Derek
I swear to God, I didn't know who Derek Jeter played for.
Same team that Alex Rodriguez played for.
I don't know who A-Rod played for either.
But you know he's A-Rod.
You don't know who Derek Jeter played for.
Guess a franchise.
The Yankees.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then
Subliminally,
even worse, right? I was talking to Matt because you got
also,
cut
what
out,
is this?
right?
2004, Kevin Garnett and 2004. I love that year.
Okay, this is the thing. You lagged out, right? And I was like, I'm gonna say Derek Jeter for my MLB guy.
Oh, okay.
And Matt's like, Matt was
I said you should say Babe Ruth, and you're like, he doesn't play anymore.
Oh yeah, and I was like, he was like, well, neither does Derek Jeter. I'm like, he doesn't. So I thought Derek Jeter's. That's because I saw that TikTok, and I'm like, oh, Derek Jeter, like MLB player. Let me say that. This is like.
Anyway, what is the code you can use on PrizePicks?
You can use the code Stay Hot at PrizePicks.com or on their mobile app. But we have a new segment for you guys. It's called Keep Trade Cut. It's not anything that you haven't heard of before, but I don't think we've done it here.
We asked for everybody's submissions for a Keep Trade Cut, and I've got a list in front of me of some of my favorite ones that I thought were tough. So I think that I'll read these off, you two answer, and then I'll maybe give mine at the end.
Maybe it should be like start trade cut, right? Or start bench cut.
Start bench cut, whatever. Yeah,
we're just
start bench cut.
We're ranking
it's basically a fancy way to rank these guys 1 through 3. And the first one I've got this is all NFL. This is a wide receiver trio of CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, and Deontay Johnson.
I'm keeping DJ Moore.
Why? Why are you keeping DJ Moore?
He plays for the team I like. So.
What does he offer? What do you honestly believe? Like, an honest evaluation of DJ Moore's game, like, besides he's underrated and plays with shitty quarterbacks, what do you think he's good at? Especially,
I don't know. I think Steve Smith, when he got drafted, said he reminded him of himself. And I kind of agree. I think he plays with good strength. He's almost kind of like a discount A.J. Brown in that way. That's how I've always looked at him after the catch. I think he is more suited to be a little bit of a slot guy. But I think his route running is pretty strong, and I think the after the catch stuff is pretty good. And he really has been dealing with some awful quarterback play his whole career. Yeah. So sometimes it's a little tough to evaluate exactly what he could do. Because, I mean, he got his rookie season, he didn't start until Cam Newton messed up his shoulder. And then he got Kyle Allen and Darnold. So it's been a process with him.
not ideal for sure.
So who's 2 and 3 then? So starting DJ Moore,
Yeah.
benching. I think I know what you're
Maybe
going
I'll
to say.
bench Lamb and then cut Johnson.
Okay.
You're close to what I would definitely. I agree. I would get rid of Johnson, and that's no slack to Deontay Johnson. I think he has a really bright future as a receiver ahead of him.
Me, on the other hand, I am slandering him. He sucks.
Deontay Dropson.
Deontay Dropson. He kind of fixed the drop issues a little bit this year, though. I think I would keep CeeDee Lamb. I think I would. Some of the catches that he makes are just out of this world. His hands are like, it's like he got like tacks on his hands. It's like everything just gets sucked in.
Don't watch week 1.
Don't watch week 1.
I can see that. Maybe in an unbiased world, I'd pick Lamb over DJ Moore. But maybe in an unbiased world. So.
I mean, the fact that the Cowboys chose Lamb over Amari Cooper, I think speaks volumes, because I think Amari Cooper is a damn good receiver. So
this is coming back to be biased for you.
You guys are sick.
Sick and twisted, man.
You guys are sick and twisted.
No, I do think Lamb is a phenomenal receiver. He has really good route running. He has a lot that he can offer after the catch, but his hands, man, that dude catches everything except for week 1. Yeah, don't watch week 1. Theo.
Yeah, I think I'm going to show Deontay Johnson some respect. I think CeeDee Lamb is the best one here.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson, and I'm cutting DJ Moore.
And this is why he's underrated.
Look, I think CD is the best one here by a margin. I think that CeeDee Lamb is a borderline top 10 wide receiver. I've compared CeeDee Lamb to Jerry Rice, for God's sake. Not that I think he's as good, but he...
Wait, when did you do that?
I don't know. But if you go watch Jerry Rice highlights, the closest guy he reminds me of is CeeDee Lamb. Not that it's at the same level, but I think they look similar playing football. Similar body types, similar speeds, similar ways that they win. I like that comp. I think that CD is fantastic after the catch, not because he's like this physically dominant guy, but he's just like slippery and intuitive and knows where to go. Great route runner, one of the best wide receiver prospects we've seen recently, I think. So I'm putting him number 1. I'm putting Deontay Johnson number 2 just because I think of his ability to create separation is the second best on this list. And he really did fix his drop issues. They crept back a little bit towards the end of the year, but he's also someone who's super slippery, elusive after the catch. I think that DJ Moore is probably the worst at creating separation of these 3. He's a tank though, and he's really tough to bring down. Like a little dude. He's definitely much improved as a route runner, and if he keeps improving on that track and gets a good quarterback one of these days, like I could definitely see him breaking out. But that's the order I'm going with right now, just because I really liked what Deontay Johnson did last year. I've been a Deontay Johnson fan for a while, even after his crazy drop season. I said that he was the most talented wide receiver in that Pittsburgh trio, so I'm going to stick with my Deontay Johnson praise.
I agree that he's the best receiver in Pittsburgh. For those that are worried about Deontay's drop problems, like from the end of the season, when you get to the end of the season, it's a long NFL season, right? You're going to revert back to your bad habits, right? It's just like, I think that's kind of the nature of things, especially if you're a young player. I think a third year is like we talk about third year breakouts. Deontay's that guy for that. I think for sure.
Next,
what's the next one, Theo?
I'll go with the quarterback one. I like this one. We got, This is basically partially what the Seattle Seahawks have to do. We got Drew Lock, Geno Smith, and Gardner Minshew. Keep, trade, cut, or keep, bench, cut, whatever you want to say.
Theo, can I guess what yours
Drew
would
Lock,
be?
Geno. Yeah, sure.
You're starting Drew Lock. I think you would I think you would bench Geno or bench Gardner and cut Geno.
Maybe. Let's hear what you guys have to say. What would you do?
Oh man, honestly, I don't hate Gardner Minshew. I don't hate Gardner Minshew, and I think part of it is like when you think about what you want in your quarterback, Gardner Minshew gives me like Ryan Fitzpatrick vibes, where it's just like, even though he's not like a great quarterback, and I think we all know that, but it's just the energy that oozes from him. Like the fact that he was able to be kind of an icon in Jacksonville of all places. Come on, man. It's like no one's an icon in Jacksonville. So I think the fact that he kind of just oozes this genuine leader as
the it factor.
Yeah, he just has it. I don't know what it is, but he's Gardner Minshew, and Minshew mania runs wherever he runs. And I like, I even see a lot of Eagles fans that'll even be like, they love Gardner Minshew. But I think
propaganda's gotten to you.
It kind of has, but like when you're picking between Minshew, Drew Lock, and Geno's, like,
fair
what
enough.
am I?
Yeah.
So yeah, like if he was starting, he'd be
it's
like
not
a
exactly
bottom.
Minshew, Rodgers, Mahomes here.
Right. It's like if he's a starting quarterback, he's like a bottom 3, bottom 4 starting quarterback. But so is Drew Lock and so is Geno Smith. So, but I think I would go Minshew, Lock, Geno. That I think is what I'm going with.
I might do the same. I don't know. I might go Lock, Minshew, Geno.
So we all just hate Geno Smith. Got it.
Maybe not. I don't know. Geno Smith has also played like 2 games in the last like 3 years.
Yes.
Granted, Lock and Minshew haven't exactly played an abundant amount or anything, but you've at least seen them. Like my thing that maybe Minshew would be the guy that I cut, honestly, because part of it is that like I don't know if a guy like that really pushes the ball down the field. And there is something to a dude that won't go out there and lose you games, but the goal is to go out there and like win the games. And I always feel like those guys who just like protect the ball, that's not the goal, you know? Like I'd rather have a guy who doesn't protect the ball but gives me a chance to score. So maybe that's just like, that's how I felt when we, the Panthers had Teddy Bridgewater. So maybe that's my philosophy now. So I'll still go Lock, Minshew, Geno.
I'm cutting Gardner. So I don't care how much moxie he has. He's got that Theo Ash NFL arm strength. All right. Lock has a legitimate cannon. And if you can rein that in even a little bit, like let's say in the Seahawks system, that you just lay out, throw it here. I don't care. Like it's Sean McVay. Look at what it did for Goff. They had a top 5 offense. Just throw it here. Don't care. Just if he does this, throw it here. It's moving horizontal. It's a short throw over the middle. Yak is going to do all the work. If you can just get Lock to operate that like effectively as a baseline, he also offers you all this other stuff. So it's like I'm taking Lock to do that. Then I'm taking Geno Smith to do that. And then I'm taking Gardner Minshew to do that. Like I just think the other two as second round picks and as, legitimate guys who were thought of as not special talents, but at least better talents than Minshew. Like if all of them are going to be dumb and all of them are going to have bad pocket presence and all of them are going to, I'm going to just order them in most talented to least talented. So I'm starting Lock. Geno's next because Geno didn't look
I want swagger, man. I want swagger.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Lock. That's why. Yeah, it's I work for NASA or whatever.
Yeah.
Song he was singing.
Big swagger, Drew Lock.
Yeah, big swag. Yes, he's got the swag of a great horse rider, a jockey. Of a stallion. Yes, he's got the swag of a stallion. Yes,
something like that.
Majestic beauty. Yeah.
You know who does have a lot of swag though?
It's gotta be an ad read.
Our good friends over at HelloFresh, because this episode is of course brought to you by HelloFresh, because you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Go ahead, skip those trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's and Stay Hot's #1 meal kit. I sent a tweet out today because I texted my sister. I was like, what do you want for dinner? And she said food. right? And Theo commented she's getting a plain cheese pizza and lemon ice cream. But someone else commented and said she's getting HelloFresh. We didn't have HelloFresh, but we ended up getting Wendy's. But if we did have HelloFresh, we would have made HelloFresh. That's the moral of that story. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant and is even cheaper than grocery shopping, according to a Zagat dining survey. That's money back in your pocket. And we all love money back in our pocket. HelloFresh now has 30 dinner recipes to choose from every single week. That's the most choices of any meal kit. I think that's a lot of choices. Go to HelloFresh.com/StayHot16. Use the code StayHot16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/StayHot16 and use the code StayHot16 for HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. You know, HelloFresh should have an app. Why doesn't HelloFresh have a mobile app? They should hire me as a software developer to make their mobile app, even though I have no idea how to make mobile apps.
Hey, if you need to rank, if HelloFresh needs someone to rank all their dishes like 1 through.
Honestly, that would be I might do that. That would be a great way to, that would be awesome promotion.
It would be. If they need someone to do that, HelloFresh, Blaiden Kirk is your man.
Facts. I have all the code written for 30, because we did 30 NBA players. They have 30 dishes.
Do they have 30?
Might as well. It's 30. It's 30. They have 30 dinner recipes to choose from. So I already have the code written for 30 NBA players. I could just plug in the dishes, and I'm just saying. Like,
stay hot execs. He
stay
will
hot.
work for food. He will work for food. To do this, though,
I will work for I will work for money.
Okay, all right. But we do need to. But to get an accurate ranking, we do need to try all of these. So
we do need it. Yes. I will need to taste all 30 dinner recipes, and then I'll rank them. But Theo, do you have some more?
I'll stick with quarterback. I'll get the quarterback ones out of the way.
Okay.
The next one is Blaiden, your boy, Jalen Hurts. Number 2, Jameis Winston. And number 3, Matt Ryan. Those are the 3.
Oh.
So it's 3 guys that we've all had glowing. 3 guys who are all kind of stay hotties here. So I
think we all like Matt Ryan. We all like Jameis, and I like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I guess I'm not the world's biggest fan.
Well, I like Jalen Hurts too, but I don't think he's an MVP candidate. But I do like Jalen Hurts.
He's a dark horse MVP candidate.
I heard that he went, what, did Blaiden, you retweet that he went 11 for 13 today in practice with 2 touchdowns and 0 picks?
Did he? I didn't see his I saw him playing baseball.
Oh. Well, you can name Jalen Hurts is the only baseball player you know.
He was playing baseball, and I was like, I'll watch baseball if it's just Jalen Hurts.
Hey, pause. No, he's a beautiful man, though. I would. But anyway, who are we start bench? He's the prettiest of the 3. All right. But anyway, who are we picking here?
I'm starting Jameis Winston.
Okay.
I think that he was first overall pick for a reason. I think his arm strength is really good. I think he looked really, really good in the Saints system. It's something that's a guy whose problem, has always been like, the turnover stuff, the 30 and 30 season, all that. And that wasn't a problem last year. And he was doing it with the worst receiving core in the league.
Yeah.
Maybe. Was. Yeah. So
fair to say.
And now you're going into this year. If he can stay healthy, he's got a really, really good offense around him. I'm excited to see what he does. I think he has a really high ceiling. Matt Ryan would probably be the next guy for me.
Boo.
I like Hurts too. I do like Hurts, but he's taken a step every year. But there's only so long, I guess, you can do that.
Right.
And if he does take that step this year, I won't be shocked, and maybe that moves his ranking. But for now, I'll go Winston, Ryan, Hurts.
Not a bad place to go. I can't even lie. Here's the thing, right? I like Matt Ryan and I like Jameis. I'm starting Jalen Hurts, right? I'm keeping Jalen Hurts. He's my guy. Mostly for continuity, like for consistency in the Blaiden K lore. In the Blaiden Kirk lore, Jalen Hurts is always that guy. But I also talk about like how great of an offense I think they have. They have, maybe the best offensive line in football right now. They had the best rushing offense in the league last year, and maybe it won't be number one, but I think it's fair to like assume it'll be top 5 or at least top 10. And then, Devontae, you can expect to take a step. They acquired AJ Brown. Dallas Goedert was, a really good tight end last year. If Quez Watkins is the 4th option, that receiving core is filthy. Yeah, I mean, you think about all the pieces he has around him. Yeah, give me Jalen Hurts all damn day. I don't hate Jameis, but he's getting cut, sadly. Matt Ryan is like, Theo, I think it was you that posted this video that he just has like unbelievable poise, and I'm glad you posted that because
that was from a couple years ago, but yes, yeah, he does.
And now that he has like the Colts offensive line, oh my god, they're going to be able to get a lot done, I think, in that Colts offense. Maybe even a little bit more than they were able to with Carson Wentz. Like, I think Matt Ryan, in terms of like what he can do with his arm, I think is a little bit underrated. Yeah, he's not going to be able to move as much as Carson Wentz, but he's also not going to just have like the random like blow a game away Carson Wentz moments. And I think Jameis Winston can have those. We've seen him have 30 interceptions in a season. Yes, we know that he can do some better things, and we've seen him do some better things with the Saints, but until I can get that 30 interception season out of my head with a full good season from him, he's going at the bottom of this list. But I don't hate Jameis. Like, all these guys, easily top 20 quarterbacks in my mind, maybe even all top 15. But
yeah, Blaiden, you talk about all the weapons the Eagles have, and they do have those, and with a better quarterback, I think I'd expect them to be maybe the best offense in football. But with Hurts, I'm just not confident in that outcome, just because I don't know if he's...
Yeah, I get it. I'm projecting Hurts to become that better quarterback. Right.
I get it. And I just feel like he just doesn't have a very long track record of success at all in the league when he has to really air the ball out a lot, right? I think every year some guys, you kind of can get tricked by dudes who are doing a good job in a very run-heavy system with a great offensive line and good enough weapons. And we've seen, Baker look good, and we've seen Goff look good, and we've seen Jimmy G look good and stuff like that. And I honestly think Hurts was a little bit of the guy who might have been efficient last year and looked good, but just wasn't really asked to win games with his arm. And until I see him do that, I'm cutting him. All right. Maybe he takes that jump and starts doing that this year, but I haven't seen him do that. I still got that playoff game against the Bucs fresh in my mind. And it's like, that was horrible by him. Okay. So it's like, I don't think I can run through the playoffs and win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. I don't think I can run. And then it comes down to Winston or Ryan, I think. And I'm going with Ryan just because I've said this before. It's like when you talk about running through the best teams in the league to get to a Super Bowl, and you talk about, a one game, one loss and you're out type of situation. I just want someone that protects the football, that I trust to protect the football a little bit more than Jameis. And that person to me is Matt Ryan. I think in Indianapolis, it was just such a horrible situation. No wide receivers last year outside of Pitts for Matt Ryan. No offensive line, just horrible. And his arm strength is mid now, very mid, maybe even bad. But like in that offense, I think that there's a world where I can more clearly envision the path to Matt Ryan being a Super Bowl quarterback than the other two, just because I trust him a little bit more on everything that comes along with being an NFL quarterback. He's the vet.
And we've seen Matt Ryan have a lot of success when he has a good team around him. And right. I think the Colts kind of fit that bill of, really good backfield, really good offensive line. Maybe you don't love the receivers, but
Pittman, Pierce, it could be okay. We'll see. Yeah. It's just the running. It's like their running game is so strong that I think that he's not going to be really asked to win games at the strength of his arm, and he's always going to make the right decision. I think he's going to be able to execute that offense to a high level, and I just trust his poise and his decision making and his timing and his anticipation more than the other two. So that's just where I'm at. That's just where I'm at.
I don't know. I think with Jameis, I don't think he's so prone. Like, I think he's past that. I think him looking a lot better last year is the Jameis we're going to see next season rather than the 30 for 30.
Right.
Jameis Winston.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with projecting these younger guys like ahead of Matt Ryan. I don't disagree. I just am going to rank Matt Ryan first just because I think he's pretty good.
There's definitely a world where like Jameis is like creeping back towards average, right? Because like you're not going to throw 30 interceptions every season. But last season, I think like even like before injury was a little uncharacteristically efficient.
Maybe so.
Maybe even so. Like
that could just be growth as a player, right? That's not always like regression or whatever. But I respect all those things. I think if that was a real quarterback room, Ryan, Jameis, Hurts, it would truly be a toss up on who wins that job. So,
it would. Theo, you're doing your series right now on like grading the interceptions that each quarterback has thrown. It would be interesting if you could do that for Jameis's 30 interception season.
Maybe at the end of it all, it'll be like a 50-minute video. Maybe that'll be all 20. Maybe that'll be my all 22 on.
That would be interesting
because it's just too long to do in a TikTok. Next one. Okay, we're gonna go to the defensive side of the ball. This one I struggle with greatly. I've got for you Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, and TJ Watt. One of those guys has got to go.
We kind of talked about this when we did Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
We did.
I took Garrett, though, so I'm in the... And then by the time I picked again, Bosa and TJ Watt were off the board. So, Blaiden, you were the one who picked Donald and Bosa above TJ Watt. So I got to assume...
My justification in taking... That was for Defensive Player of the Year, right? And like, how many guys have ever won Defensive Player of the Year back to back?
Ooh, right. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
So it's like, I don't feel comfortable picking TJ Watt to win it when there's other guys who I think are still hungry for it. It's not even due. It's just like when you have
TJ Watt's not hungry if he doesn't want to win.
He's not hungry.
Well, it's not that he's not.
Full.
It's not that
he's full. He's satisfied.
I just think that a guy like Nick Bosa could be hungrier, or Micah Parsons could be hungrier. They're like, man, I was this close.
Donald won it twice in a row. JJ Watt won it twice in a row, 2014 to 2015. Okay. Donald 2017 to 2018.
I guess in theory, Watt could. And I would say Watt is like him and 1A, 1B. Him and Myles Garrett are the two best edge rushers in the NFL right now. But like Micah Parsons, man, he is damn good. I might go. I'm not gonna. I don't want to project too high. I think I'm gonna go TJ Watt, number one. Right. I'm gonna keep TJ Watt. I'll trade Micah Parsons and cut Nick Bosa. I feel like that's a tough one. That's a really tough one, but I think that's what I would do. I think Micah Parsons, because I'm building my top 100. I keep mentioning that. And one thing I keep coming back to is Micah Parsons. I'm like, oh my God, he was asked to do so much more than every other linebacker in the NFL last year. Like no other linebacker was asked to stop the run, rush the passer, and cover all at the rate that he was. Like it was like an even 1/3 split of each. And no other linebacker was asked to do all of that. Other than I think like maybe Kyle Van Noy might have been close.
Oh, yeah.
But Kyle Van Noy is not nearly the level of player that Micah Parsons is. For him to like be super successful at basically everything is virtually unheard of. So I want to have him around. So start or I guess keep TJ, whatever we're calling this. Number one's TJ Watt. Number two is Micah Parsons. Number three is Nick Bosa.
All right. I can respect that. I respect all of these answers. So
what's an answer I could give right here that you wouldn't respect?
If you cut
There's none.
all three.
There's none. I think I'd be concerned for your health if you cut TJ Watt just because Steelers fans would come and kill you. But I wouldn't exactly disrespect
he has led the league in sacks 2 years in a row. That'd be rough.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So
this one's killing me, man. I might have to go Watt, Parsons, Bosa. But with Parsons, you're almost projecting a little bit with him.
That's
where it's like, he was so good last year, and what if he was even way better?
Right.
But here's the thing. Even if he wasn't way better.
And that's the other thing. Even if he isn't way better, and he could be. And the versatility with him, if you care about that, and I don't know, I'll stick with that.
What was it? So to start Watt, bench Parsons, cut Bosa?
I think so, yeah.
So the same as me.
But I really like Bosa. I think
that's the thing. It hurts me to do that because, like,
I feel like I'm high on Bosa is the thing, and it doesn't matter here. Maybe.
Well, okay. This one I've soft. What did I say? I was going to soft launch my Nick Bosa best edge in the league take.
You're not. Steelers fans, get ready.
Well, I might start Bosa bench Watt.
I don't think that's a bad take at all.
Parsons. Because here's my logic. Look, Bosa is Watt is incredible, obviously, and his motor runs so hot, and he can bend, and his ghost technique wins so much. But I think that Bosa's got a little bit more power to him, and he can even win quicker than Watt can on average. Like he just can blow up plays so instantly. If you go back and watch, look it up, every TJ Watt sack from this season, so many of them are high effort plays, and he tracks the quarterback all the way around the backfield, and he chases him down, and he sacks him. But it's also partially, I think, like a coverage sack a little bit. And I think that he relies a little, like just a hair more on that than TJ Watt does, who will, or not TJ Watt, Nick Bosa will, because Bosa's got the body and the bend, and he also just has this mind-bending power to him where I think that Watt doesn't quite have that ability. I'd be really interested to see the amount of sacks Watt had in a certain amount of seconds, like 0 to 1 seconds after the snap of the football, where all those sacks or where all those pressures were. I would be really, because maybe I'm completely wrong, but from what I've seen, I think Bosa is a little better at getting there quicker, but maybe I'm just totally off base on that. Also led the league in, I think, tackles for loss, and was double teamed at the highest rate with no one else to really take like chip help or things like that. So I'm starting Bosa. I think Watt is second, and then Parsons is the guy and I love Parsons, and I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So it's tough, but
it is tough.
He is a little bit more, he's an off-ball linebacker. He's not an edge rusher in that defense. He only primarily started 4 games at edge, which I think is, if we're talking positional value, I'd rather have an edge rusher than an off-ball linebacker. He has been very good in coverage, or he's been fine in coverage so far, but he hasn't really been targeted a whole lot. He hasn't been asked to do it a whole lot. He hasn't been he's not Fred Warner or anything back there. So it's the more time he spends at off-ball linebacker, I'd like to see him really blossom into an elite coverage linebacker before I'm taking him over these guys who I know are known commodities at what they do at edge. So, or like more known commodities. So it pains me because I think all 3 of these guys are fantastic, but that's the order I'm going with. But maybe I'm completely crazy.
Yeah, I think Micah Parsons could watch some Eric Kendricks or Levante David tape and learn a thing or two.
Warner. He's crazy though. Like he could very well be the best of these 3. I don't know.
I just got done watching Levante David for my top because he was 95 for me. Bro, did you see the play that I tweeted out?
I missed it.
Okay, so here's the set. I can't remember who I think they're going against the Colts. Yeah, it's the Colts game. The Colts throw a Hail Mary, right, to try and tie this game and send it to overtime, right? And, it's obviously an interception because Carson Wentz is throwing it.
Oh,
right?
I saw this play because I just did Carson Wentz. He threw it to Pittman because, and he shouldn't have thrown it to Pittman. It was underthrown.
But watch the play before.
Oh,
because the play before, they're trying to get into not Hail Mary. They're trying to get out of Hail Mary range because, you'd obviously you want to run a real play. And they run this rub pattern they have a post and a deep out. and they have the read that they want. I think it works to perfection. They have Levante David with his hips pointed inside, and he opens his hips and runs with. I think it's Doyle is the tight end.
It is Jack Doyle. Okay, it is Jack Doyle.
But like to be able to open your hips and just like totally shift direction like that, like to think if he were to do a speed turn,
Jack Doyle did retire this year. he did retire.
But like, okay, if he speed turns on that play, he gets caught in the mess, right?
He does a really nice job flipping his hips like a corner.
Like
I will say
it's insane, man.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't think I've ever seen a linebacker do that. So that's why I was like, oh my god.
Okay. Yes.
Like if he doesn't make that play, like they're no longer in Hail Mary range, and like we're talking about a totally different
Hail Mary somehow
scenario.
Next,
do you want to do one more or?
Well, we got two more on our list.
Okay.
Here. We'll still.
Okay, you have two more.
Okay, so the next one is running backs.
I think we have time.
We're only we do have some time. We got Najee, Aaron Jones, and Austin Eckler.
Okay,
Najee, Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler.
I think this might be a spoiler for my my top 100 coming out in 5 minutes. Hold on. So I guess it wouldn't be a spoiler at that point. Which is that? Oh, never mind. No, it's not. That one comes out in a couple of days. I'm starting Najee.
You were slandering Najee the other day. You said that he's a no vision merchant and fat. You call him fat.
I didn't say he was fat. I didn't say he was fat. Yeah, I've done some soul searching, and I've decided I was a little bit biased when it came to my Najee slander.
Did all the videos of the guys posting him stiff arming the hell out of that Browns linebacker get to you?
That shit hurt. I can't lie.
Yeah.
But because it was better than the stiff arm that Nick Chubb did. Right? That's because Nick Chubb's stiff arm resulted in I think 3 yards, and Najee's resulted in a first down, I think. So no, but I'm taking Najee. I think Najee has incredible strength and and underrated athleticism. Maybe not. He doesn't have quite a breakaway speed, but I think the way he can move his body, his quickness sometimes can be a little bit underrated. What he can do, in the receiving game is really nice. I think then for a similar reason, receiving quality, I might go Austin Eckler. I don't want this to come off as Aaron Jones slander, but I think I would go Austin Eckler next. I think Austin Eckler's been underrated for a really long time. He's been such an asset for the Chargers for I think 3 years now. Like in terms of like receiving, in terms of running, his vision I think is actually quite nice. He's pretty explosive getting to the edge sometimes. And then I think I would go Aaron Jones. And again, I don't hate Aaron Jones. I always feel bad when like I make a player the last one. Cause I'm like, I don't hate this guy. I like Aaron Jones.
Someone's gotta be last.
It's like Aaron Jones gives me, I think, almost like discount Kareem Hunt vibes, if that makes sense.
Discount? I don't know, but now you're starting to get into the slander territory when you're calling a discount Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I guess you can't call someone discount, but like I think he's similar to Kareem Hunt with like the I think the quick, or maybe not, maybe I'm trying to think about a guy that he feels similar to. That's your guy, Theo. So maybe you have a better read on him than I do, but I feel like he's similar to Kareem Hunt. And just like as I've been watching Kareem Hunt as a Brown, that's I feel like he's very Aaron Jonesy.
I get it. Matt, how about you?
I'll probably go Aaron Jones at 1, Eckler at 2, Najee at 3.
Okay.
Najee's kind of a little bit of projection. I don't know. It's tough to judge him with the offensive line that he ran behind a little bit. And that was a weird offense he was in. He has like a really nice ceiling, obviously. But we talked earlier, a few episodes ago now, about how he just needs to be a little bit more physical. And if he comes out and he's more physical, I think he could easily be 1. But I'll have him at 3 now, just off what he's played.
Maybe I am. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's a bad take to say that he is.
I don't think it's a bad take either.
Because, like...
I bet that he has the best career out of these 3.
Yeah. See, and the last one I put Parsons at 2 is a little bit of projection, so maybe I need to put Najee. That's not very consistent of me. But
I might be projecting a little bit just because, like, for me, I when I was looking at Najee coming out of college, I was like, that's Derrick Henry through and through. I was like, he's like a more athletic Derrick Henry. This is like Derrick Henry if he was jumping over people and then proceeding to run for a touchdown after. Right.
I mean, he did have a lot of broken tackles this year, Najee Harris. A lot of them.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. Theo, what are you doing?
I'm going with Aaron Jones 1. I think that he's the total package as a running back. He's gotten he's a little dude, but he really does try as a pass blocker. I think that he has great vision, phenomenal vision, and he always has since the day that he became a Packer several years ago and was losing carries to Jamal Williams. And he was someone that, as time went on, clearly was like immediately was not only the better running back, but truly deserved more carries as his vision got better. And he just like can squeeze through the tiniest gaps. He's a really good, kind of one cut runner where he's running a lot of outside zone or zone in Green Bay. Find that hole, put his foot in the ground and go. The dude just does not get tackled for loss like ever. He's had 0 in his career. Don't fact check me there. He's got legit home run speed, which I think Najee doesn't quite have. Najee doesn't quite have the vision that Aaron Jones has. So I'm taking Aaron Jones 1. AJ Dillon is also quite nice, really nice, and AJ Dillon actually had more carries than Aaron Jones last season. But I think I still consider Aaron Jones the better player than AJ Dillon. I still do. Even with the season that AJ Dillon just had, maybe he'll prove me wrong next year. But
Najee's also a good blocker too.
Yeah, he's a really good blocker, and that's why I'm taking him number 2. Right? Is like as even though I think Najee sometimes plays like he's an elusive back, even though he should be a power back, and he kind of dances a little bit behind the line of scrimmage, and it leads to inefficiencies. And Pittsburgh's rushing attack was not very efficient last year. I still think I'd rather have Najee just because of what he offers as a receiver, what he offers as a blocker. I think that he's a pretty talented pure runner, as someone who can shed a lot of tackles. And then I think Eckler is the worst pure runner of the 3. I don't think he's particularly special at it, not a particularly special tackle breaker, not a particularly special pass blocker, not a particularly special in really anything when it comes to like running the football. I think he's a little bit of a fantasy football merchant. Obviously, he can do a lot of things pretty well, but I don't think like anything he does is totally irreplaceable. I just think he's the worst pure rusher.
I think he does a lot of things good.
Yeah, I mean, the coaching staff obviously loves him, gives a lot of goal line opportunities, results in a lot of touchdowns. But overall, he impresses me the least as a 3-down back and as someone who can really carry the load in an offense. So that's how I'm ranking him.
Fair.
Jones, Harris, cutting Eckler. I think fantasy football has kind of really, really, really enhanced Austin Eckler's like public perception when he's not a particularly like all-timer as a running back, even though his numbers might be really good, and they were. I think he like led the league in touchdowns last season.
No, he had a pretty good year last year. I won't even lie.
I got one more. Do we have time for one more?
We're a little bit over an hour.
We got time for one more. Then we got time for one more.
Our editor will hate us, but yeah, we'll do it quick. We'll do it quick.
This one I think is like I think we can all just okay. It's Bateman, Judy, Juju. Bateman, Judy, Juju, Smith-Schuster, obviously.
Yeah, I can do this really fast. Give me Judy, or not, give me Juju, Judy, Bateman.
You're cutting Bateman?
Yes.
Never talk to me again.
I love Judy, man. I don't appreciate your Judy slander.
But you don't love him more than Juju Smith-Schuster?
I don't. Here's the thing. I think Juju, like if we're talking about like, I still think Juju has gotten a lot of I think unnecessary slander. I really do. I think he's a very strong receiver. I think he like it's all just like from that like one season that he had that was like so outstandingly spectacular. And we talked about this, I think, on the last episode. That season set the bar so ridiculously high. And then for him to like, and it might be a fantasy thing too, that he didn't reach that potential and like didn't do that again. I just think like people have, come to hate him, but he's still a very good receiver. And if we're talking like, second options, like Juju might be the best second option in the league, or one of the best second options in the league still.
Chris Godwin, Mike Evans picked.
Yeah, I was about to say Chris Godwin might. That's why I switched it to say one of, but like he's up there.
Matt, what are you at?
Bateman, Juju, Judy.
Okay, I agree with you, Matt. I think that is the correct order in my opinion. Look, Judy.
I haven't seen it from Bateman yet. Sorry,
I haven't seen from Judy yet. Right, like Bateman. It's a lot of what he did in college, but I thought that I really liked what he did his rookie year, despite the lack of production. Like I really liked what I saw from him, not only as a route runner, but I mean he made some really incredible catches and is forced into a pretty bad situation. Not that Judy's been in a great situation or anything like that, but. He kind of got demoted, I felt like, and lost the trust of the training or of the staff a little bit in Denver, going from kind of mainly a slot guy from like an outside guy to a slot guy this year. And just need to see a little bit more from him because he's looked really underwhelming so far. Can't say the same for Bateman. Maybe it'd have Judy above Juju just because I think his ceiling's a little bit higher at this point, but not with Mahomes, right? Like
that's the other thing.
Wilson, so who knows? I don't know. I would agree with Matt here, though.
Okay, L ratio, but okay. All right, so we're gonna end things off as promised with a question of the day. All right, and this one comes from Jordan. He suggests that we get one fast food meal for the rest of our life. So whenever you go out to eat fast food, you can only get that one meal. What are you picking? Now, here's my question. Is this like all-time fast food meals? Because Wendy's has changed their 4 for $4 like a lot in the past.
You love
historic fast food. Because then I'd go back in time to when like McDonald's sold hamburgers for like a penny.
Get out of here.
I mean, see, that's cheating, right? So I'm saying no historic.
I think you can do... Like if there is like a limited, like it's got to be somewhat recent. All right, you can't be I would go back and I would do the 5-cent footlong from Subway.
27 and
but if there was like
the best thing, Matt,
if you want to say the McRib, which is not a thing right now, but it was in the past, like some sort of like seasonal or one thing, but it can't. Obviously, you can't go back and do anything groan inducing.
Man,
like what
Matt and I used to always go out to lunch in high school, and we would get Wendy's, and the go-to was always a 4 for $4 with the crispy chicken BLT, and I would always get barbecue sauce and Minute Maid lemonade as the drink. All right, I'm sticking with that, right? Because they don't have the crispy chicken BLT in the 4 for $4 anymore, but they should, because it was the best. I'm sorry. It's in the biggie bag,
does a place like Chipotle count as fast food?
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
What? Yes, it does. You can get in and out of Chipotle in 5 minutes if there's no line.
Does it have a drive-through?
Yes, some do.
Where? Is it like
that's not what makes something fast food? Chipotle is absolutely fast food.
Technically, it's fast casual.
Is it fast? It's fast food. It's a fast food chain. You can get, but it's literally right there. They make it like they just go down the line and you're done. You're out of there. That's fast.
Fast-ish, but it's not as fast as
fast-ish. It's faster than McDonald's. Yes, it is. You just go down the line. Yes.
I don't know if it's because you have to wait, but you have to wait in the line at Chipotle.
Yeah, because it's so good. Because Matt, is that what you're about to pick?
No, I'm not going to pick Chipotle. Although would not be a bad choice. Would not be a bad choice at all. I'm actually going to go with Bibi Bop.
Who?
Well, see, and this is why I asked. It's not that there's only about 30 or 40 stores of it, so it's not that big of a chain. I'm sorry, it's not that popular. You might not know it.
I don't like
but
bibimbap. I can't.
it's like it's like Chipotle, but with slightly different ingredients, basically.
Okay.
And I like it more. And then they have a little pudding cup, so I'd get like basically a bowl, and they're like bigger bowls than a Chipotle bowl, and then a pudding cup. And that would be my go-to.
What's your go-to order? Like, is it like beef burrito? Like, if it's Chipotle, is it like tacos
it's like
or
a bowl.
burrito?
It's got like
bowl?
rice and egg and cheese and potatoes and chicken, and then I get yum sauce.
Okay. Is it like Hispanic? Is like
I think it's Asian.
No, it's Asian.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's good.
Cool.
But that's my favorite fast food place.
I'm not a fan of it, but
Then you know it's good. That's how I know it's good.
yo,
Blaiden,
I have great taste in food.
you don't eat chips with salsa, man. You just eat the chips with not dipping it in anything. You don't eat wings. Where's your salsa? You got chips. Do you have salsa anywhere around you? No, you don't. I'm not trusting what you have to say. Look at him. Oh my God. You don't like chips and salsa. I don't trust your food takes.
It's not that I don't like salsa. It's just that like
You're chewing with your mouth.
it's plenty. It's never mind.
I can't believe you just pulled out I'm gonna take the Chipotle burrito. I think that it's one of the best fast food things that you can get. I'm rejecting Blaiden's assertion that it's fast casual.
It is.
It's fast casual food, right? That's McDonald's is fast casual. Culver's is fast casual.
No.
Culver's is also up there for me.
McDonald's is fast food.
What makes it fast food?
Is Chipotle not fast?
But the actual classification of the type of restaurant that it is a fast casual restaurant.
I don't care.
What if you just fast casual? What is it? Fast casual hats, fast casual, apartments, fast casual, drinks. What is it? Fast casual what?
I'll say this: it takes me just as long to go through a Chipotle line as like order McDonald's. The difference is not significant enough to not consider Chipotle fast food.
I have to get out of my car to go to Chipotle.
That's some, yeah.
Yeah,
most.
I mean, if McDonald's didn't have a drive-through, I don't think it would cease to be fast food.
There is a classification
in the restaurant industry. Okay, it's considered fast casual. I don't care. It's a chain that is fast. Okay, I'm calling
had to look it up.
Fast food.
If I'm here's why it's fast food. If I'm considering to go out and get like something to eat, if I'm considering McDonald's, Chipotle is also on the table. If I'm considering like Wendy's, then Bibibop's also on the table.
It's not that
but
those places
I would never be choosing between like Chipotle and like a real like sit down get a waiter
because a
restaurant.
real sit down restaurant isn't a fast casual restaurant. Chipotle is the middle ground between a sit down restaurant and a fast food restaurant.
But you can sit down at all fast food restaurants.
If it's just fast food and there's a drive through, I'm getting this from Culver's. I'm getting a deluxe butter burger. I'm getting a chocolate malt, and I'm getting the pretzel bites. Okay. That's what I'm getting if Chipotle doesn't count. But anyway, I digress.
I would also consider In-N-Out. I do love me some In-N-Out.
In-N-Out's food is mid. This is Mid-N-Out, okay? It's just so goddamn cheap that it is not bad enough for me to care.
It is very cheap.
It's so cheap, and it's good. It's like a good burger. It's a good burger. The fries are reliable.
It's consistently the same, and the service is immaculate.
It is. I usually get 2 burgers there because I think the fries are a liability. So I'll usually get like 2 hamburgers.
Like the fries.
You also like plain tortilla chips with no salsa, so that doesn't surprise me. In-N-Out is good, but it's not the meal I would go with. But it is really cheap. I don't think it's overrated, even though I think its food is overrated. It's kind of weird.
That's not aesthetic. A bad take. Wendy's is kind of the same way. Where like Wendy's, it's like the 4 for $4, like prime 4 for $4 days is such a great deal.
Yeah, the Culver's meal that I just described would run me like $12. The Chipotle meal I just described would run me like 12, maybe even like $13, $14.
Yeah,
I could get
depending
2
on where you're
burgers at
at.
In-N-Out for like $6.
I think that's. I'm not worried about the price of this. If this is the one fast food meal you can
Right, either
have,
way.
the difference between like $8 and $4, I'd just worry about getting the best possible thing.
I mean, the Wendy's,
because you only get one forever. So
I could eat a crispy chicken BLT, some nuggets with some barbecue sauce, some small.
you could just order, it's not a
Like-
bad choice regardless. But
and then like some Minute Maid lemonade. Like, I could do that. I could do that every day for the rest of my life. I did it every day for like 2 years in high school. So I ate 2 of them every day.
Fair.
It was better than when I was eating 2 Baconators every day.
That's disgusting. I do kind of like Baconators though.
But 2 of them, man, that was a lot. But I know our editor hates us at this point, so I think it's about time we wrap it up. We are we're probably pushing an hour 20 at this point. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, tons of content coming away on all platforms. The album will be done by the next episode.
Hey.
But it won't be out until middle of July. It'll be done though. It'll be finished at least.
Can we get like a pre-listen? Can we listen to it before everybody else?
We might be able to listen to it on the live. We'll see if it's done before that though.
Do like okay.
So we'll see. But tons of content coming on all platforms. We have a live coming to you. What is that? Tuesday? Live Tuesday. New episode Thursday. Theo's All 22 Tuesday. Matt has a video coming out Wednesday, I believe. So yeah. We'll be back as always from Corn Boy, Bird Boy, and Lemon Boy. We will catch you all on the flippity flop. What's up, everyone? I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I know you trust us with your sports content. So Blue Wire now has a new podcast called Don't Trip, where they give sex, relationship, and dating advice. So make sure you hit the link in the description and subscribe for Don't Trip's hilarious and insightful content.